Hi, it's Debbie from Create Pretty Things. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Tonight we're going to use another one of these frames, the same that we did last night, and we are going to use the sister transfer, which is the Daisies. So this is called Bold Daisies. The one we did last night was Bold Poppies. Bold Poppies, and this is what we did last night. So we're going to do something similar, but different. So different transfer and different color scheme, different technique. So we're gonna get started. I hope you guys loved that project that we did last night. I surely did. If you wanna get notified of when I'm on live, please type in exclamation point notify in the comments. That's no spaces, exclamation point notify. Then you'll be notified whenever I go live and you won't miss out on anything. We're going to start with our watercolor paper. Same thing as last night. I'm just going to go ahead and rip out a page. This is 12 by 18. We needed that size to fit the transfer and to fit our frame. And this is pretty thick paper. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to rip it out. Okay, I got it out. So you'll see that this transfer fits perfectly on this paper. There we go. So it's great. But the first thing I want to do is take out the glass out of this frame. And I've learned a little bit more about this frame. Since it is a floating frame and it has this paper in between, it has two pieces of glass, and that little thin piece of paper is floating between that glass. Now, when I put my thicker watercolor paper in it last night, it was a little too thick, and I did break one of the glass panels, which was okay because I didn't have a floating design. I did have a whole design covering the whole back, but I did put a piece of cardboard behind it to kind of stabilize it a little bit as far as pushing it up towards the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. To tell you the truth, I probably will not put that in because I do not want to risk breaking that like I did last night. Now, the purpose of me taking this frame out, this glass out, is to cut the paper to size. So I'm going to go ahead and get my paper. Let's see if it's that way. Nope. And I am just going to put it on the side of this. Line up the side, the edge to this, and the bottom. And then I'm going to go around it with a pencil. I'm going to cut it out with a pair of scissors. So far, so good. I don't need this anymore. I'm carefully going to lay it down. I'm going to cut out this paper. And I'm going to cut like on the inside of my drawn line in the hopes it'll fit perfectly in the frame the first time. You know, when you draw along the outside of a frame, it's always a little bit bigger. This paper is nice, guys. It's really thick. A little corner there. Okay, so now I need to think about, I almost lost my toes there, guys. I want to think about how I'm going to position this. These are my daisies. And I think I might want to position it like this. So I could do it like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it sideways. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the background of my paper, most of the background, with this color, which is Ocean Mist. So it's a very light blue, and I'm going to paint with my chalk paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this paste out, put it in my color tray. I'm going to go ahead and add some water. I'm going to make this like a watercolor consistency. You could use a watercolor paint for this if you wanted to. You could use any kind of paint if you wanted to, but I wanted to use this color, so that's what I'm going to use. I might want to add some more paste. I'm not doing a whole big background. I'm going to do most of the background. So I just want to make sure I have enough mixed up to do it. Okay, so I think, like this. So I'm going to kind of cover most of my background. With my paste. And I don't really need full coverage. It's mainly just to color it in and have something to put a darker color on. And I might just actually spray my background. Let me see how this is going to work. So it doesn't need to be really thick coverage. But just more like a water stain. Have you guys painted with the chalk paste before? It's a lot of fun. There's so many things you can do. I don't want to get this terribly, terribly wet, but I did want to water the paste down a little bit. Get a little thinner coverage. And then we're going to have to dry it before we apply the transfer. Even out the edges a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty good as far as our background paint. It's kind of a bluish grayish color, which is kind of what I was going through for. I'm going to do my design monochromatic color, which is just one color, and it's going to be this colonial blue. Let me make sure there's something in there. Yeah, there is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dry up my paper. This is what it looks like at this point. And it's starting to curl because it is wet. So let me go ahead and dry it out. So I want to hear stories about your Tuesday. What was your Tuesday about today? What, did you go out anywhere? Did you go to work? Did you shop? Did you see your grandkids? Did you work out today? You know what I did today? I went to the dentist. That was my highlight of the day. And everything's a-okay, so that's a blessing. Yep. Of course, I did lots of other things around here, too. It was a fun day. Our weather was pretty nice. We were kind of cloudy today, but it did not rain. I enjoyed working out in my yard with my flowers. I say good morning to them every morning. I want to know if anybody else talks to their flowers. Do you guys talk to your flowers, too? I'm just so amazed at how beautiful they are every morning. This chalk paste does dry really quickly, and it's almost there. Now I'm debating, usually when you have a painted chalk surface, you are going to apply surface wax to it before you put the transfer on. Now, I don't want it to change colors or anything of this, so I'm a little hesitant to do that. The purpose of the surface wax is to protect the paste from coming up down below, and it's also to protect your transfer. When you pull it up, if it sticks really, really hard, it is going to stretch, and you really don't want it to stretch. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get what's called a fuzzing towel. Now you can use any piece of fabric for this step. You can use your shirt, your pants, a towel, a dish towel, a drying rack. You know, those foam drying rack towels that you dry your dishes on. You can use that. And all I'm going to do is smooth this down and lift it up a few times. And since my transfer is bigger than my fuzz cloth, I'm going to pick it up and do the other side a few times. And I am going to do the end. And this is still pretty sticky. So sometimes you can feel how bad it's going to stick. And I can see it sticking to this pretty good too. Yeah, it's pretty sticky. Now be careful not to get it stuck to itself. If you do, gently pull it apart. If it's really bad, take it to your sink, run it under water, and try to pry it apart that way. But be gentle with it. It could harm the silk screen. Okay, so I've fuzzed this. I'm going to go ahead and put it on without waxing, and we're going to hope for the best. So I decided that I wanted to do it this way. So I'm trying to see if I can center this. This big flower. And get it on here straight at the same time. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to smooth it down so that there's not any air bubbles. So this is what it looks like right now. So I'm probably going to do everything that is in the silk screen. But I'm going to do it all in one color, which is going to be our colonial blue. I'm going to go ahead and stir up my paste. Some of my pastes have been a little dry lately, and I am trying to make sure that I really stir them up, add water to make them the best they can be. And this is beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is the paste is only going to go through the areas where you can see the background. So when I picked it up, I also introduced some air bubbles. Now this is a lot of silkscreen here. There's not a lot of sticky to keep it down. So I'm going to start at the edge of my little daisies here. Really want to get that edge. But I don't want to go outside of where the painted area is. So I'm going to try to get very close to that without going over the top. Wow, guys, this is going to be a lot quicker than last night's. Last night we used multiple colors. Turned out beautiful, but it took a little bit of time because we were switching colors all the time. So here I am again. I'm going to go ahead and get my detail tool. It has a smaller squeegee on the end, and I'm going to try to get right up against this edge of where my color is behind my background color. Now also, because this paste is a little bit on the dry side, I do not want it to dry in the screen. So I'm going to try to work a little faster. Oops, I don't know why I have this one. And I'm going to try to get this all pasted so I can pull it. So I'm going to pull any extra paste from one area and move it down to the next. Okay, and this is drying pretty fast. So I'm hoping to get it done before it dries in that silk screen, because if it dries in the silk screen, it will not stay on the surface down below. Okay. Okay, I'm going to kind of look at it, make sure I've got all the areas covered, all those white areas. making sure I'm going right to the edge of my painted area. And it looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna put all my excess paste back in the jar. And we're gonna go ahead and peel this off. Let's see if you guys can see it. Now, as I'm peeling it, I'm also gonna take a look and see if it needs any repairs. I'm also gonna try and move to the center of my transfer and pull from the center so that I don't stretch out the transfer. So far, so good, guys. It is stuck pretty good, but we're not ripping any paper. We're not pulling up any paint. And it looks great. Now, the one side I can see is that all this went outside that area. But you know what? I think it looks kind of cool. So this is going to be what we're going to put in the frame. So I'm going to put this aside, let it dry on its own for just a second, and I'm going to show you how to clean this transfer. Okay, I'm done with my brush. I'm done with my squeegees. I'm going to cap up my paste. I'm going to lay this out flat. And as soon as you can, you want to spray this with water. Get it wet. Now, they do suggest that you take this back to a sink and clean it at the sink with your board eraser. I want to show you guys how to do it, so I'm going to do it out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a paper towel, and I am going to rub that first layer of paste off. I'm going to get as much as I can before I use my board eraser, just because I don't want to get my board eraser all dirty. Guys, did I tell you what the keyword for tonight is? The keyword tonight is Daisy. So if you want to get the product list of what I'm using tonight, type in Daisy, and I can tell you, it'll present you with a shopping cart that's pre-built, which you can modify in any way. You can look at it and get out of there without even buying. You can look at it to see what's suggested. You can switch it up. If you already have a board eraser or a squeegee or one color of paste, you can switch it up. Now, what I put in the cart link is some individual paste packets. So they will be designed to do a small project. Now, it can do more than one project, and it's more than enough to finish this project. But if you have any left over, don't squeeze it all out, number one. Just go a little at a time, because you can't put it back in the package. But if you have anything left over from that package, just go ahead and seal up the cut end, and then put it, I would tape it, and then put it in a baggie, a Ziploc bag, and save it for next time. So they do more than one project. So be aware of that. Don't squeeze it all out unless you really think you're going to need it. Now, this is the board eraser that's in the cart, and it is bigger and thicker than this, but this one's really well used. And this is what cleans up all the residual paste in your silk screen. You do want to get all the paste out of the silk screen because these are reusable between 6 and 8 times, 8 and 12 times, depending on how well you clean them and protect that sticky on the back. So you might want to ask, why would I want to do this project? Well, number one reason is because it's a beautiful project. It's going to be a great design piece for your wall. Another reason is it feels so great to take a simple surface, lay down a design and some paste, peel it up, and see what you've created. It's such a great sense of accomplishment. It also stirs up your creativity. So why would you want to buy this transfer? Well, for one reason is it's reusable between 8 and 12 times. So you can make 8 and 12 times, 8 to 12 of these. And you can do a million different ways. You can do individual petals, different colors. You could do the whole thing in a different color. You can do it without the background, with the background. You can take just a piece of that design and reuse it. Number one reason for me is that I just feel so accomplished making these. I really do. I like to think that I'm creative, but I'm really not. I like to play and dabble in the paints. And so this kind of gives me a head start on being creative. And when I'm done, I just feel amazing, like I'm invincible as far as crafting. And I know sometimes they're not perfect, but a lot of times they're correctable. Many of our surfaces are reusable. You can use two sides of it, or you can reuse it, wipe it off and reuse it. This one, the paper is not, but many of them are. What I'm doing right now is just laying my transfer back on the backer sheet to protect it because I'm getting it ready for storage. Now you can see that everything on that silk screen is white. It's clear. There's no paste in there. And that's exactly what you want because you want to reuse that transfer. So if there were paste in that transfer, the new paste wouldn't be able to go through because it would be stuck in there. It'd be dried in there and it wouldn't be any good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and hit this with my dryer. And we're going to dry it up before we put it in the frame. And guys, do you see how it went off the blue over here? I kind of wonder if I should have done the whole design like that. Kind of cool. So this paper is thick enough to withstand the water. It does have a slight bend to it, but it's not real wavy and wet. This paste does dry really, really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and get my frame. I'm going to put my glass back in. Now it did come with 2 pieces of glass. I'm going to have to clean this with Windex too, but there we go. Let me get my Windex real quick. I'm going to go ahead and spray my paper towel instead of my glass because I want to dry really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down. Try to get all those fingerprints off of it. And I'll do the other side in a minute. Dry it up. Now I'm going to put this down and we'll see how it works out with the frame. And also how my cutting worked out. Cutting worked out pretty good, just a little bit right. I think if I just cut a little bit of the bottom off, it'll be okay. Okay, now this is not going to be a really tight fit because I'm not putting the second piece of glass on. I did that last night and the glass it was too much pressure because it's too thick. So it kind of buckled the glass. And what I ended up doing was I cut out a piece of cardboard and I put it on the back. So I'll probably do that to this one as well. So let me find my screwdriver that I just had. And hid from myself. I'm just going to slide these little hinges over. And this is kind of temporary until I can cut a back. The back that I'm going to cut is just going to be out of cardboard, and it's just to kind of help that paper lay flat in the frame, which it's not going to be right now. Give it a little pressure. Okay. There you go. What do you guys think? I love it. I think it's amazing in the monochromatic. Do you like the borders or would you rather have had it all filled in? I don't know, it's kind of a tough choice. Let me get the other one as well. So here we have the poppies that we did last night, multicolors. And here we have the monochromatic one we did tonight, the daisies. Which one do you like best? Do you like the daisies? I have got a hair right here. The daisies, or the poppies? Do you like the multicolored one? Or the monochromatic, or on the dark, one color on the background? And would you have changed this one up to paint the whole background? Or do you like that swoopy look? Lots of questions, guys, lots of questions. So here's our craft for tonight. It was a very simple, easy one. I think it makes a big impact. I hope you can see how easy these are. And I feel amazing because I created this. I can give these as gifts. I'm thinking Mother's Day gifts already. What do you guys think? They could be a wedding gift for friends of mine that are getting married. I think they're amazing. I hope you love these. Please feel free to let other people know to watch if they enjoy this kind of stuff. And I will see you guys again. Please comment Daisy, D-A-I-S-Y, for the supply list. Thank you. Bye.